Good morning, people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another beautiful, beautiful early morning hours. Today is Thursday, February 17, 2022, and the time is now 5:50 a.m. in the morning. I hope you all are doing well and happy out there. Yes, to begin, well, again, this is the beautiful skyline of our beautiful Manhattan Island in New York City. I love it. One of my favorite times of the day. The mind is more clear, at least for me, during these hours. I went to bed early, relatively early, and I feel pretty good. Oh yes, I have my elixir next to me. Yes, hydrate, people, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Yes, yesterday was a very beautiful day. I did go out with the gang. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I have to encourage myself to keep on keeping on. Yes, yeah, life is what you make out of it. I say that to try to put more responsibility on myself rather than blaming others, blaming situations. Ultimately, you have to do you. You are ultimately responsible for what happens in your life. And yes, you have the saboteurs. Mm-hmm. So, what I want to talk about today, um, I want to talk about identity theft on a personal note. Yes, sorry about that. It glitched again, buffered. Okay, I have to be careful. I can't use that word, THEFT. So, yeah, so as I was saying, um, this uh, channel that I watch, that I'm subscribed to, and I get a paid subscription from them to hear some of the news. That's a group that does remote viewing. So I want to talk about them. Oh, it was something else I wanted to discuss. Oh, what I forgot to put in the description. This this lady, another YouTuber from Africa, East Africa, and the perceptions of a nation in comparison to the things that happen here, and a little confused with from a American born um, experiences. So let me begin. Well, 2 days ago in the evening, I was working on my finances, making sure everything's in order. And I noticed these transactions that was done last month, January 2022. And I did not recognize them. And they were 5 withdrawals done on my debit card in increments of $50, 50. Now, if it was just one, I would just wonder, maybe I forgot something, because I keep all the receipts and then I compare with the statement and all that. And sometimes you might lose a receipt or whatever, transaction, let's say you go to the supermarket and then you lose the receipt by accident, and so you may not have a tally. But basically, we're creatures of habit, right? And so you recognize the place where a transaction went, and you just say, okay, I probably just forgot. And it's a reasonable amount of what I would pay during a transaction. But it was five withdrawals of increments of $50, five of them. And I know I wouldn't do something like that. But I was just thinking, well, maybe the vendor, for whatever reason, you know, broken in different pieces. Again, I do go on the internet and do transactions, but I didn't recognize this name. And, could have been that maybe you pressed something and it didn't, you thought it didn't go through. You do it five times, but what? What would be that much money? I mean, you know. So they stole $250. Excuse me. $250 was removed from my account total. I try to I call customer service, and customer service is not able to excuse me, assist me because it's like locked. They're locked out to do anything over the phone. To look up my account over the phone, which never happened before. Yes, good morning, viewer. Good morning. Welcome to the chat room. So anyway, so they said, look, you need to go directly to the bank and have them assist you. And I didn't want to go out. I was being very grumpy, but I do go. And so this is in the afternoon now, yesterday. And luckily they were able to get access, and they see what I'm referring to. And I said, I've never heard of that vendor or whatever. And the teller, not the teller, what do you call it? The customer service. There was another customer service individual right next to our table, and he hears the name and says, "Oh, that's Bitcoin. They're involved in Bitcoin." I said, "I don't really even know what Bitcoin is. I'm not involved in that. I don't deal with things like that." So a claim was put in. She did the paperwork. She also destroyed the debit card and issued me out a new one. And I appreciate her assistance. But what in the world happened? What in the world happened? Oh, I have to also add, after I got the printout of them, my bank handling the mishap, an investigation would be made. And then I took that paperwork and I immediately went to the police, my precinct. And they had me fill out a report. And they said that someone will investigate and they may, get in contact with me over the phone, something like that. It went pretty quick. I mean, I did have to wait. When you go in these departments, these precincts, it's like a big room and people just sitting and the TV on. It'll be good for you to get up and just, hey, I'd like to talk to someone, because I was just told, okay, ma'am, just sit over here and someone will assist you. Well, in New York City, um, you have people who just need, well, many of us are who we are. And you need to periodically just remind them that you're there. Be very polite. People in these type of positions, they have, sometimes power goes to their head, and you don't want to screw with them. So be pleasant, be polite. And I had like poked my head in the in the door. I said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just waiting out here. I wanted to speak to some regarding a matter that happened to me." And so the lady said, "Oh, what was the problem?" As I told her, she said, "Okay, just sit back down. I'll we'll get back to you." And shortly after, she did come and filled out eventually filled out the report. And she looked it over. I said, I'm not really sure if I filled it out correctly. And she told me what other what things I had to fill in, extra things. And I thanked her. And that's when she told me that um, someone would get back to me. Interesting, when I was there, I spoke to a gentleman. He was an Italian man, looked about in his 30s. He's wearing those, what do you call it? I think you call those straight leg pants, the ones that taper down. He was slim. He was a healthy build, wearing a jacket. Like sometimes like like they wear the jacket, the real casual skinny leg pants, and sneakers with no socks. That's what it looked like, no socks, and real hairy dude. And he had long hair up, very straight hair up to the shoulders, very blue eyes. He actually was a good looking dude. Well, anyways, yeah, he spoke English very well. Yeah, he had his Italian passport with him. And I started talking to him. And it was really a fun conversation. He said that what happened to him just happened moments ago, and he came directly to the. Oh, okay. Looks like we're back on. Okay, we're back on. But the numbers aren't, the numbers aren't moving. Come on, let's get back in there. Let's get back in there. So I don't want to talk if. Okay, we're back on. We're back on. Sorry about that. See that all these, what happens is that the certain keywords. See, I don't know all the words. I'm a free talker. I like to express myself. I don't want to always have to censor what I'm saying. You know, I so it doesn't like certain words again. So anyway, um, yeah, he was really fun to talk to, and they had BM'd him. Okay, that's abbreviated to black something, to black someone. Okay, you get your mail. Okay, so you could just put those two words together. So anyway, they called him and threatened him and asked, not asked, told him that he has to give them $4,000, or else they'll release information that they were able to get from, I guess, his computer, because he has clients. Okay, so this is what's happening. Um, you have individuals who are able to get access to sensitive information, and then they um, try to scare you and intimidate you to do what they want you to do, or else if you don't give them what they want or do what they want, they will release the information, and then you in return can maybe get sued by the individuals whose data you have that got released. Yeah, because see, when you have sensitive information, it is that company's responsibility to keep it safe. So why is it that with certain officials, all these leak stuff, and no one seems to be getting prosecuted? It seems. Well, that's what happened to this fellow. He was very well spoken, and he was saying that yeah, he's involved with Bitcoin, and it was just a small. I said, wow. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. Yeah, you have a lot of these young people, uh, international, and he has businesses and locations within the U.S. He said so. He has another uh, dwelling. I think whether it was an apartment or a house in another state in the U.S. He says he loves America. He said he's an Italian citizen, and I saw his passport. They have like a orangey, like a reddish brown color passport. And I saw the name, and he says, he pays taxes. He said he loves it here, and he lives in both places. So yeah, I just said the name of my country, America, and it buffered again. Ooh, excuse me, boy. So, anyways, yeah, you have foreign nationals who come to the U.S. and they live here and have businesses, and I guess in his case it would be internet, and they're making money. Yeah, he was really interesting to look at. Yeah, he was very attractive. Um, very, yeah, he looked like a little entrepreneur. These guys like they wear the jacket because the symbol of the jacket. You wear the jacket, and then the casual slacks. The straight legs and the sneakers. So they want to still feel cool, but they could say, they're being businessy because they have a jacket on. But yeah, so we spoke for a while. And then he walked away, but he left his bag. I said, "Sir, you leaving your bags here, bag and coat?" And he said, "Oh, it's okay." Even though it's at a police station, um, don't leave your bags and stuff. People could steal it, even in the police department. Yeah, because you have individuals who are, what do you call it? What do you call it? Regular people, civilians, and they could come in and just take something. So, yeah. And so when he was to leave, he was really nice. He came back. He put his hand on my back. He says, I wish you well. And then he left. I thought that was so sweet of him. It was nice. It just I felt like connected with them, like we were both sharing an event. Someone BM'd him. Again, viewer, I can't say the full word, but it starts with the word black, and then what the post office delivers. So yeah, and they said if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to release the information and get you in trouble. Yeah, and he can get sued because the data that he had responsibility of making sure that it's kept safe, and he can get sued. Yeah, horrible. So look at myself. Yeah, someone broke into my bank account. I never heard of these Bitcoin people. I'm not involved in anything like that. I'm an old-fashioned girl, and I just don't want any. I don't like where things are going. And and interesting. I was just looking on the internet. Um, I saw a video, and they have this new terminology, and I don't even remember the initials, but it's an acronym, and I can tell you what it means though, and those of you who are listening know what it is. Um, it means like a product, or you know um, for example, the new trend is getting digital art and selling it, and it's like a one of a kind. It has maybe some type of sentimental value versus something that could be like mass produced, and everything's the same. Like it's really what's attached to it that makes it that particular thing and makes it valuable. And right now the trend on the internet is selling. I think you call it digital art, but yeah, I figure something digital art. You could just mass produce that, right? Or let's say a tweet. Um, Someone has marketed the first tweet ever. I think it's from the developer of Tweet, and he said a few words, and that was sold on the market for a lot of money. So you have people who somehow set value to things, or what do you call it, Michael Jordan, him slam dunking the basketball in the hoop, and that is being sold as that particular acronym, and they're placing extremely high value to it. And this bothers me. I mean, not the individuals whose stuff being sold, but what's bothering me that everything is being monetized to, like I bet someone coughing. Oh, we got the famous person cough. Or this they're now getting so anal, and so I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. I've never heard of this. This is, yeah, I've been hearing that acronym. It's a three-letter acronym of this internet selling, using I guess a type of Bitcoin or something, and you're able to, like, one video I saw showed exactly how to open up this account to join in on this new craze of making, of commerce, internet commerce, and exchanging so much money. I don't understand it, people. I don't like it. I don't like the feel of this. I mean, I've heard the word Bitcoin before, but I don't want, I don't like the feel of it. I feel that it's just as dangerous. Um, Whether someone hacks your bank, someone hacked my bank account. Someone is willing to hack. Somehow someone's able to hack my bank account. And I was home most of last month in January 2022. How did they get access to my debit card? I'm in possession of my debit card, so it's not like I lost and they stole my identity. I have it. I always had it in my possession. How did they take my get access to my debit card number? Don't you, when you have to do transactions, you have to have all this other information with it? Evidently not. And you could be in the privacy of your own home. How did this happen, people? And this new world of Bitcoin, someone used my debit card for a company I've never heard of that's involved in Bitcoin. So they stole my money so that they could play on this new arena called Bitcoin or whatever what it did, that type of transaction using using money to buy a Bitcoin type of thing. Let me just say that word. It's a type of thing. At least the bank, when I went to my bank to find out what's going on, the customer service person recognized the name and says, "Oh, they're involved in Bitcoin." Wow. People, be very safe. Be safe. Be very cautious. See, people want to make money so quickly. Oh, I'm just looking at the sky. The sky is changing right now. It's 6:20 a.m. New York City time. Yes, sunrise today would be about, what was that? Uh, I think 6:40, 6:47, I think. Something around there, yeah. So just like in a half an hour, it'd be sunrise. Yeah, I like to welcome the sunrise. Yeah, I'm just noticing the sky. I just find it fascinating this time of day. Boy, I would love to be if yeah, I would love to be outside this time and walking and maybe even I like the idea of they say during dusk. I mean dawn. This is considered dawn of the day. Dawn is approaching, and they say that the elementals come out at dawn and dusk. And I would love to be outside at that time and experience an elemental in a safe way, a safe one. Yeah, I know I'm getting off the subject, but I just noticed through looking at the screen here, the monitor, I see that the sky is changing. It's getting brighter and brighter. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't this beautiful? Absolutely beautiful. Well, going back on what I was saying now, people, see, this is like the wild, wild west. What happened during that time, what they call the wild, wild west in American history? That's when people went crazy, predominantly Europeans, wanted to get, greedy and race to the west of the continent because of gold. They found gold and they went crazy. And I think that's where the myth of, the stories about, was that Bonnie and Clyde and all these other people, these were European Americans who have their freedoms and are acting crazy. And back in those days, black people weren't allowed to go west. So here you have a large population of people who were under bondage and they're being bullied, and laws to say you are forbidden to go west, even though we help them uh, keep the country. We fought for so-called freedom and not getting it, not getting the freedom of enterprise. So, I can understand someone who was under bondage to go out and get crazy. When you're in prison, so to speak, and then you get loose, you could go a little, overboard. What made these European Americans go overboard when they had access to so many things? Yeah, not every European American had slaves. It was. I heard that only 1% of the white population owned slaves. 1%. So it's said. Again, I don't know, but that's what this says. So it seems to be implying that the mass majority of the people uh, were not in a good position. But just imagine those slaves when they would got their so-called freedom. They didn't act crazy like that. But now, fast forward, we're doing crazy things now within the black community because there's still no real freedom. Illusion of freedom, but what's happening that they do social engineering to control a narrative, to hold us down. Yeah, I don't want to sound like I'm on my bugle horn. It is what it is. But I love this country because I'm born here, I'm raised here, I served in the military here. I love my country. And where else in the world, being a single female, could have the type of freedoms in general? A lot of places women don't really have the freedom to enterprise if they're savvy enough. The U.S. allows that. The U.S. Has, so many benefits that are available to its citizens. And it even treats non-citizens, so-called guest workers, treat them so well. There's no other country like it. No other country in the world that you could do what you can do here. Yet this is the best place, I think, one of the best places for women, single women. Yeah, you have to use wisdom. Use wisdom, but it's available. So yes, as I was saying, this is like the wild, wild west, but on the internet. And people are getting hurt. People are being, as you see here, accounts hijacked. So they can buy bitcoins because they're so greedy, and they're buying weird stuff. Where they said the latest craze is artwork. What do you need? What do you need artwork for? And spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah, it's a whole new arena now in buying the different types of bitcoins, and you have an internet. What do you call an internet wallet, and how secure it is. No, no. See, my account, and I have my physical card. So it had to be all electronic. And the fact that this a company, a Bitcoin type of company, at least on the statement, because when you get a checking account and you get the statement, and they indicate who you did commerce with. or who took the money. Yeah. So this would be very interesting. And I told the police and the bank that I'd like them to find out who did it, and I'd like to press charges against them. Yeah, I have to, put that out there because they may not have the common sense to to even do that. I mean, I really feel this. After I got assaulted last November in 2021, they didn't arrest the person that physically assaulted me. They they brought her to the hospital, and in 4 days I saw her in my neighborhood. The attack happened in one area, and then she's just 2 blocks away from where I lived. She did not do anything to me, but she walked right past me. I was very afraid. Yeah. Um, and so you really have to be specific. I want to press charges. Let them know that. They might think, oh, I didn't know you want to press charges. They could be foolish like that. Yeah, let them know. I want to press charges. I didn't authorize this. What is this? Yeah, 5 transactions in a row. 5 of them. So you have to be careful out there with your, we call it, your electronic wallet. Just like they went into my bank account, they could probably still go into your wallet and just do the same thing. They were to tap on somehow and transfer those funds into theirs. Hello? Hello. And don't you think people could put a false name, have all these dummy companies, dummy accounts to make it harder for you to track down where they're located? Is it international? Is it local? Is it out of state? So this wild, wild west will now have to come up with new laws to protect people. And again, I just mentioned about the Italian guy who's living in the U.S., young Italian fellow, and so they broke into something electronically, phoned him, and blackmailed. Oops, not supposed to say that word. Yeah, yeah, they did that to him. And he said, $4,000 that they want. It's not a lot of money to him. He could just pay it. But he said, I'm going to report it. I hope he reported it. Yeah. So he must have already did the paperwork yeah, he was just sitting there. And then I came in and we started talking. And this is getting out of hand. This wild, wild, whatever. Oh well, let me go on to the next subject. Yeah, so the next I'm going to talk about, that organization, sorry. Yeah, see the sky getting brighter and brighter? I love it. It's just beautiful. Now 6:33. Okay, so yes, I watched that YouTube channel, and they did a remote viewing session regarding the upcoming U.S. elections for 2024, and they spotted some melee, fires and things like that. Not trying to you know, warmongering, try to frighten people. But why I mention it, well, I just found out what's really, oh, I remember. Yeah, so those of you who've never heard of Farsight, YouTube channel. They just got an itch. They are remote viewers, and they remote view various topics, and they use young individuals. They taught young individuals the art of remote viewing, and the director of the organization have have them remote view these things, and one of them is about the upcoming, in a couple of years, the elections. And in their remote view, like they showed a little snippet of the upcoming uh, show. Yeah, their remote viewing sessions could last maybe, they might air like 20 minutes or half an hour or more. Depends upon the assignment. So I can't wait to see that. But in particular, what I'm interested in with this snippet, the trailer that they showed today, what they saw and what one of the people reported, they reported and they drew this figure that I saw last week. They saw what they call what many people call the reptilian. They have like an alligator or crocodile face, uh, real big. They can stand on two legs. They showed it. I said, that's what I saw last week. Remember that? Yeah. They saw it too. And I said to myself, OMG, wow, this thing is real. They drew it as pretty much exactly how I saw it. It had like a hood on. It wore, what I saw, it was a red cape. It was all closed in front, and you saw part of the chest on top, and a big head. And they were standing with about 4 other people, 2 on one side, 2 individuals on one side, and then a couple of, like 2 yards in between, the next group, that was like maybe 3 individuals. And it was that was the only reptoid. The others looked like humans. It was, sorry about that. Yeah, okay, we're back on. Yeah, it was enough light in this vision. Yeah, because what I saw was in my morning vision that I tell you guys about upon awakening up from sleep or dreaming. I keep my eyelids closed and then just stare as if into my closed eyelids and look into the darkness, and then an image, a visual appears. And I'm fully aware of what's going on around me. And I saw the reptilian, and he's wearing a red cape, like a cape, like what you wear like in graduation or something, or that movie Eyes Wide Shut. That's why I went to see the movie again, Eyes Wide Shut. But yeah, I see it's a little different, different than those capes. But I think, I was really focused on the hood. It had like a little hoodie, and one long piece, robe or whatever. And that's what I saw. But it didn't have like the little frills on the outside, like in Eyes Wide Shut. When I re-saw the movie Eyes Wide Shut over the weekend, it was not like that. It was just a simple one piece, no frills or anything like that. I think it was V-neck. So you see, he had a big chest cavity, really thick dude. But it was a reptilian face. I kid you not. I kid you not. So when you have people are seeing the same thing, you start to wonder. When David Icke talked about it, and it sounds ridiculous. But you have to start looking like you notice in European, Western Europeans architecture, they always have these little reptile things, or these, or snakes. I think that you create what you see. It just doesn't come out of thin air. You say, oh, I'm going to create a building, and oh, for decoration, I want to put these uh, dragons and things like that. They're real. These things are real. Yeah. I don't do drugs or anything like that. I don't drink either. I don't drink alcohol either. I want to keep clean and aware. But I saw the dragon. We got the lizard guy. We got the reptilian guy. Yeah, it looked like, even though it had the cloak on, or robe, whatever you want to call it. To me, it seemed very male. Had a male energy about him. And the other people, figures with their humans, they look, they were people, regular people. Very, it's very shadowy though. But I saw that, because the reptilian had a big head. It was massive. Looked real strong. I would, yeah. And the reports that you hear regarding these reptilians. What's his name? What's his name again? Jordan Maxwell talked about the reptilian. Yeah, Jordan Maxwell had access to many, talked to many people. Many people talked to him and shared information. And he related the story of these people in Hollywood. They were on these hills, the hills of, in California. And they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. They were just overlooking, the people that were sharing information were just overlooking a cliff. And down below was a ceremony taking place. And there was one of those reptilian there. And they got spotted. And so they went to run away. And when they tried to run, that thing appeared right in front of them and frightened them. Threatened them, I think. Yeah. So things are going on in the planet, on the planet. So they mentioned about the 2024 U.S. elections coming up. It was remote viewed. And it's going to be, they show that it's going to be a lot of chaos, fires in D.C., and something with the reptilian. They said a shapeshifter. It sounds crazy, I know, but I believe it. I believe it. And you start to wonder what's really running people, what's really running the world. You have people, researchers who research, the real ancient scriptures, the lost books from India and Sumer, right? All these histories that they don't let the masses know about, but these initiates know about it. Masonry, what is Masonry all about? Is it Masonry about building? What are they building? I think this is, again, a slave planet. We were seeded, placed here, and we're left here to build. And they call them Freemasons. Why do people use certain terminology like free? Are you really considered like the colonials? Like, remember in American history, in the Americas, you had what they call colonials from Europe, and then you have the indigenous, that were the people that were here before they arrived, and then you have the enslaved. And so you want to make a distinction. Freemasonry, builders. If someone is free, then they can do commerce and get paid for it. So I really think Freemasonry has to do with people who are given permission to give them a sense of freedom, of enterprise, of livelihood, but the different levels of access. And they're lying to us to make you feel that they have a lot of access to be, but they just glamorize slaves themselves. That's just my opinion. When someone has the control over where you can live, what your religion is, your children, I mean, just look at the scriptures. You have these religious, or, again, your religion is your choice. But when a religion tells you, you have to eat this or don't eat that, you have to do these behaviors, that behavior, stop really worrying. I mean, being concerned. Are you free? Do they have to follow those rules? No. Those other people put laws and restrictions upon you, and then making you feel like you're free and have access. And here now we can't even have a decent election because it's being hijacked. The elections are being hijacked. Let me get a sip out of my my elixir here. Yeah, I tell you guys, drink your water. It's been extremely dehydrating, the environment. I put a little bit of a little bit of apple cider vinegar. It's a little strong. Yeah, I put minerals in it. Minerals in the water. Sometimes I put my gelatin in it. Yeah. At least, in the early morning, getting up, at least make sure you get some fluids in you and your minerals that you might need. Yeah. The quality of the food. Don't you notice the quality of everything is going down? My growing up, food tasted like food. Doesn't taste like food anymore. It's very artificial. And it's becoming artificial because I think they are trying to change our genetics to energetically fit into this new reality they want to set up on the metaverse. I heard also something. This one YouTuber say that they're selling slaves, like what do you call it? These like avatars, and they were all black. They said I have to be careful of this artificial intelligence thing. Created itself these avatars to look like black people, and they're being sold as slaves. It sounds ridiculous, but why would you want to create something, a made-up person? Why would you want to, with this metaverse, why would you want that? If it's all just a make-believe, I guess, I'm just thinking now, what if what we're living in now is a metaverse? And yes, we have people in this metaverse, our bodies are the avatars. What if this is a metaverse that we're in? And you have people who are enslaved, now, human trafficked, and forced to do things. Why is mankind interested in taking labor and forcing someone to do something? Why can't they just do it themselves? What's making people do things? against other people. Why can't you just do things yourself? Why do you have to create religion and telling people what to do, how to do it? This is possibly a monopoly game. You make up the rules, and once you perfect those rules, then you keep changing it because the others are catching up to you. This is ridiculous. And if that's what this is, I don't want a part of it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't like it. Let me switch hands here. I don't want this. I think it's so beautiful for people to sit down in peace and just be and enjoy each other's company. We're not learning to enjoy each other's company. We're doing horrible things. We're making people get sick. We're corrupt. We're acting very corrupt, people. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about. Yeah, I was watching a YouTuber. She's an African lady, I think from Kenya. And she is talking about also this this new society being developed with the. Okay, you're back. I hope you're back. Okay, we're back on. Okay, sunrises. Okay, sunrise just occurred a few minutes ago. Yes. Good morning, sunrise. Yes, it's 6:52 right now, but yes, I think it was like at 6:40 something. Yes. So good morning, sunrise. Good morning, sunrise. Good morning, sunrise. Yes, I'd like to give that shout out to welcome the sun coming up. Even though it's very cloudy right now, I think it's chance of rain today. Yes, and all my boots came in. It took, I put in the initial order in November of last year, early November, and then I had to return them because they it wasn't what I wanted. I mean, it didn't fit right. And then I got another pair, and those didn't fit right, and so I got this one. And it so far it feels okay. I haven't worn them out. Yeah, I have to really make sure because the second pair I thought was going to be good, but no. Afterwards, I started pressing on my toe, my big toe, and I said I can't have that. So I'm looking forward to wearing them today. Yeah, they're like it's the Kaibun shoes. Yeah, it's like a sponge heel, sponge sole. It's a shock absorbent. Yeah, people, as you get older, your joints, yeah, invest in yourself. See, I believe in investing in myself, health wise. So, um, I walk my dogs. I used to walk them every day, and I was developing pain in my back. Pain sucks. That's like I say. So I discovered, I went on the internet and said, what could I do to help alleviate this pain? And I came across these shoes. And I think it's pretty good. Yeah, because I used to walk a lot. So I look forward to putting them on again, making sure that they fit well. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, this African lady, I'm sorry, I got off the topic there a little bit. Um, yeah, so the African woman is saying that they are selling avatars to be a slave, and it's like, slavery didn't begin with that. It didn't. You always had slavery. Once the written histories came about, in the Bible, who were enslaved. weren't the Hebrews enslaved? They aren't African or black, but they don't look like what they look like today, the ones from Europe. So why all this again, this inhumanity type of stuff? And why do they want to focus on black people, making it synonymous with slavery? Anyone could be enslaved. But they want to create a narrative for you to think certain ways about certain people so you can mistreat them. What if what's really going on that you have extraterrestrials that are black? You have YouTubers who've been discussing, two YouTubers discuss that they saw in a what's it? Yeah, the person wasn't even meditating. They were alone in their room, and they sensed something behind them. And when they looked, they saw what they call a black ET, jet black, and it was real big. What if all this, what's happening in the Americas, primarily for people of Western European ancestry, and now you also have the individuals who call themselves Arabs. What if this is all to brainwash you to think about a particular group, and it's all about the ETs? What if they want to set you up to not accept black ETs, or I should say ETs that have jet black skin? What if this is all what it's about? And you know that the internet, on YouTube, they're always promoting the ETs that they call the Nordics. And it's supposed to be acceptable, the Nordics, and then about peace and all that. But anything that's darker in color, oh, it's bad. See that? See, this is what you call social engineering. It is social engineering. And that's what's horrible about it. Yeah, it's horrible. But in particular with this woman from East Africa who's discussing about this new trend on this virtual reality thing. So yeah, I think it's part of the virtual reality world. The metaverse is incorporating now selling avatar slaves, and all Africans, African-looking people, black Africans, dark-skinned people, melanated people, and her whole channel. I mean, I like a lot of her work. She was what's that? She was talking about something with the mind. Your mind's. Oh, I remember what it was. Yeah, I thought this was very important. She talked about the mind, and that the times are getting more intense, and she gave a warning for humanity that the new warfare is to be on your mind. And that if you cannot keep it together mentally, that's going to destroy you. Something like that. And I think she has a point. Let me tell you why. Yeah, you're going to hear all these different rumors and things, and we call fear mongering, warmongering, and it's going to panic certain people, and especially during this pandemic. This whole pandemic was to scare people. I have a relative, may she rest in power. I didn't know her well, but she seemed like a really nice person. She went, this was in 2020, in April, the month of April. She goes to the doctors and says she's finding it hard to breathe. You know what they said, the medical doctors? Oh, it's just anxiety. She went during a weekend. Well, that Monday morning, she was found dead by her husband in bed. I think what happened, she feared to death. And she was relatively young. She was in her 50s. They had people separate from each other, like you couldn't go to visit the sick people. You could, in the hospital or the old folks' home. I mean, nursing homes. You couldn't even see them in a funeral. So that funeral was over the internet. They're making us disconnected and in creating fear amongst us. And I was under tremendous fear also that same time in April. My chest was, my blood pressure probably was very high. Well, this is very important news that, yeah, it is a war on your mind. And it's a war to put fear. See, the real fear is the social engineering and making you think certain things. You act out what you feel, right? Well, they can make you feel bad. You do bad things to yourself and or others. You could implode on yourself. So I say today to learn to go within, and I speak to myself also. So I'm human, and I can fall into fears or anxieties like anybody else. But realize that, you know, if you know that someone's trying to scare you, try not looking at them or listening to them and go within and create a narrative in your own head of peace, love, and power to be onto you, to be onto your family. And you know, they say that we don't really die, we transform. There's life after this one. Okay. Sorry, my batteries are running low. Yeah, there's a life after this one. I believe that because during my meditations, I see different things, and I believe that there's different dimensions or realities that's happening simultaneously to this life that I'm living. That is what I believe. Our brain, this body is just a receptor, a vehicle, but the real self is somewhere else. Your consciousness just navigates this like a car and a driver. Or look at that movie Avatar, perfect example. Your brain is able, like a remote control, activate the avatar slash the body. If you've never seen the movie Avatar, take a look at it. Avatar. It was a great movie. Yeah, go look at that. Yeah. And see, Hollywood gives secrets about what's really going on. And I think Hollywood is the key to a lot of stuff that's happening on this planet. That they are the social engineers on the planet. And they give and they pay you a lot of money because they want you to self-destruct. They want you to harm your own people for money. Yeah, they're doing, it's like turning in your own family for money. They're turning in humanity for money. And we're all money oriented. So either way, that it's a war on your mind, and you may have to just turn off your devices, you know, stay away from things that really upset you. And I have to talk to myself when I say that. Yeah, the things that designed to pull you down. And look at those people. I told you about what happened. It was happened on this, I think the 6th of this month, and also early January. Two people living very close together. I don't think they knew each other. And they self-destructed. They jumped off the building, killing themselves. And these were people who had a big social life, were attached to communities, you know, socially. So they weren't loners. And they imploded. These are young people. One was 30, the other was in their 40s. Good looking, healthy, and they did that. Their thoughts and their brain got attacked. They imploded. Look within. Imagine beautiful things for yourself, for your family. Pray over yourself before you go out. Pray for protection. I met someone as I was walking my dogs yesterday. She had 3 little dogs also. And she's walking along the curb on the street. And I stopped to talk to her. I said, hey, I got 3 dogs also. My dogs were in the stroller. So you couldn't visibly see them unless you look inside the stroller. And so I just said, I just want to say hello. You know, I see you have 3 dogs like I do. And we started talking just for a couple of minutes. And she shared something. Oh, what was that now? I'm sorry. What was the point? Oh, brother, I just forgot what I was going to say about the woman. What was I just going to say? Oh, she prays over herself. She says, because I said, you know, the things are really intense here in New York, and I feel like leaving. And she says, we're to leave too. There's violence everywhere. Then she said, every day she prays that she'll be invisible to those harmful people. Yeah. And you know, I think that's pretty, you know, I do a prayer also, but I just, you know, ask for protection. But she says, make her invisible for those violent people so that they will not see her, and so she'll be left alone. That is a possibility. I could incorporate that in my, you know, before I leave. Yeah, so give word of protection over yourself. Walk in confidence. Walk in awareness also. Okay? So I thank you for listening to this live stream. Yeah, I pretty much said, well, oh, yeah, basically with the lady from Africa also, that we're not victims. and this African woman, I like her program, but she seems to, you know, she speaks as if she's living in the Americas, and kind of makes you feel victim, that, you know, black victimhood. And it's hard concept for me to understand from her perspective, living in a country where it's almost 100% black. You know, you have everybody there's black. And so I don't understand why, you know, how, you know, why she talks the way she does. You know, black people wake up, blah, blah, blah. You know, African people wake up. And she's very black centered. But basically, if everybody in Africa, in that country in Africa is black, so I don't understand. You run your country, you run your bank, you know, I don't understand. Now, a place in the Americas where you're outnumbered, like in the US, we're only like, what is that, 14 or 18% in the US? So I can understand that and how we got here, butt naked in the Americas. So I don't understand. You know, you're not victims. Africans, stop acting like a victim and start taking control over your resources, take control over your culture, your customs, maintain what is valuable to you. You are the king and queen of your domain, and start using those affirmations. You have all these abilities of some of the paranormal thing. Use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage and kick them out. Kick out your enemies. Yeah. Yeah, it's your world. It's your continent. Stop acting like a victim and act like a warrior and use wisdom, knowledge, and truth in delivering yourself. It's in your hands. So that's all I really have to say. I thank you again for this opportunity to do this last live stream. I talked about various topics. I talked about the woman in Africa and that people are selling avatars on with the metaverse or the Bitcoin and selling slaves, avatar slaves. I talked about my getting my my bank account getting hijacked and they stole money from my account, and it was through people who deal with Bitcoin that, according to the information I got, at least the company it involves with Bitcoin type of money, so they can break in electronically your money. If they can break in your physical bank, electronic bank account, they could also break into your electronic wallet to buy all this Bitcoin and all this other new trendy stuff. I talk about the new thing about them selling things. I forget the acronym, but it's selling things that are sentimental. It's like a one of a kind type of thing, attached. Like I said, the first tweet ever made that was sold. Okay, high amounts of money. What else did I talk about? Yeah, I talked about that company Farsight that does remote viewing, about the 2024 election, and that they saw the reptilian, and I saw the reptilian also in a dream not a dream, a vision that I had last week. They are real. They are real. But you're real too. Keep the courage, look within, and love yourself. Don't let fear consume you. And I speak to myself also when I say that. Peace, love, joy, and power to you. Take care of your health. Drink your water. Make sure you take your minerals. No, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not prescribing medical things, you know. But watch over your body. Your body is your responsibility. Love your body. Love your neighbor. Okay? Peace, love, and joy. And I thank you for listening. Until next time. Bye bye.